that talents are treacherous for the uneducated. It is possible to vary the forms of rhetorical proofs and enthymemes in as many ways as it is possible to vary terms that are equivalent to each other. Take, for example, the following argument. If you borrowed money from me and did not repay it, you owe me the money. This is equivalent to, it is not the case that you borrowed and did not repay and do not owe me the money. And no one is better equipped to argue skillfully than the philosopher, because if the enthymeme is an incomplete syllogism, someone trained in the complete syllogism will a fortiori be no less proficient handling the incomplete syllogism. So why aren't we training ourselves and each other in this sort of argumentation? Because at the moment, even though we aren't being trained in these topics, aren't in fact being distracted at all, so far as I have any say in the matter, from the business of improving our character, we still aren't making progress toward the goal of virtue. So what can we expect if we take on this additional project, especially since it won't just distract us from weightier matters, but will be no small cause of pride and egotism? Proof and persuasion are great talents when they are trained, and especially when they're complemented by a certain amount of verbal elegance. In general, every talent, when it gets into the hands of the morally weak, comes with the risk of making them conceited and full of themselves. I mean, what's to stop a promising young student from becoming a slave to, rather than a master of, these topics? Won't he brush these cautions aside and parade his learning in front of us, proud, elated, and deaf to anyone who would forcefully remind him of the studies he has given up, and the areas where he still falls short? But wasn't Plato a philosopher? Yes, and Hippocrates was a physician. And look at how well Hippocrates expresses himself. Yes, but is it in his capacity as a physician that Hippocrates expresses himself so well? Don't confuse the qualities that are found in the same writer only incidentally. If Plato had been strong and handsome, should I also try to become strong and handsome, as if this were essential to philosophy, since there was one particular philosopher who combined philosophy with good looks? Can't you tell the difference between what makes people philosophers and the qualities that are only found in them by chance? I mean, if I were a philosopher, would you be required to become lame as well? So am I slighting these talents? Not at all, any more than I would disparage the gift of sight. But ask me what the real good in man's case is, and I can only say that it is the right kind of moral character.